If you look down on Hermanus from the surrounding mountains, you are met with breathtaking natural beauty and biodiversity surrounding suburbs filled with designer homes and security estates. It really is seaside living at its ultimate best. Except it's not for everybody. If you are brave enough to look at the informal township of Zwelihle, you will notice extreme poverty at its worst. During 2018, this inequality became a winter of discontent as protests erupted. Poverty ignited into anger. It was clear that at the very least, people needed hope that their situation could change. That is the problem in short. Where to find a spark of hope in such a dark situation? You know, I found that spark amongst young people who bravely defied their desperate circumstances by embracing the life-changing power of quality education. But don't just take it from me. This is what some young people had to say about the transforming power of education.
So it's one of the most important things in our lives that we need to pull ourselves out of poverty, to pull ourselves out of unhappy spaces and places where you don't want to be. This is the one tool that you can use to get out. And that's what education has been for me.
But when Theo encouraged me to apply for varsity and study further, I could see all of the options that were available for me. It's opened my world to bigger and better things, I think.
But education is very important, you know, because it is one inheritance that you can never get from your parents. It is one inheritance that you give to yourself. And I want to say that education is personal. We need to make it personal, because if someone tries to instill it in you, it becomes forceful. But when you realize the value, what comes with education, then it start becoming innate in you. Let's look at someone who has a career of a football. You can be a best football player, but there comes a time where you can no longer play football anymore. That's where you need to pull out your certificates. That's where you can restart your life. You know, so everything has its boundaries, but with education, it is an investment.
Once you start embarking into an educational journey, it becomes more than just the qualification that you're focusing on, but your personal growth as well, your inspiration and motivation to others that are willing to grab the same opportunity as the opportunity that you own.
That tool, if you have education, you can be able to live life. It's one tool that, you die with it when you die. But the aim is to sort of ensure that when you get that tool, you try to, pass it on to a lot of people around you.
Because it allows you to dream. And once you dream, you have that ability to believe in yourself. Is that your dream can become a reality, you can live it, and it will help you change your life.
These brave dreamers inspired more people to dream. But what if we could involve more tutors and mentors for more students? What if we don't lose our best students to other communities and institutions? Would it not be better if our students could study here?
Haven't had an experience of being a student far away from home. First of all, it's emotionally draining being detached from your family. That's one of its own. It can contribute to your failure because you are far from home and there's no one to comfort you. Emotionally, it is draining. So it can actually degrade your grades. So being closer to home, it will also cut costs, because you don't have to pay for extra fees, for transport fees and for food. You will just continue and only focus on tuition fees.
In a very short period of time, Professor John de Gruchy managed to attract a like-minded team of volunteers and creative go-getters that transformed the dream into the reality of Hermanus Varsity Trust. Let me introduce you.
Whatever we tackle to make a difference, we need to do with compassion. But we also need to do so with a very high standard and an expectation that this will be world-class. Because mediocrity will not serve South Africa. It won't serve our economy, and it doesn't serve the youth. For sure it doesn't. So the only way that we are going to make a meaningful difference to the economy is to have quality education, but to have it available right here.
I think that is why infrastructure for us is so vital, to be able to provide a resource center where students can come and work at night, that is a place that is safe, a place where they can sit around a table and collaborate and discuss and debate the issues of the day, where different communities can come together in a central space that's easily accessible. And I think that is what is setting us apart from traditional universities and, in fact, from just your normal online courses.
Our model and the purpose of what we're trying to do is totally different than the mainstream universities. However, it's so much focused on the region and what we can do for the people of the region, that they are as enthusiastic with us to do something where we can transform education in this area. Of the priorities that we've set ourselves for courses is, first of all, we want to focus on the environment, on conservation, so that, and I mean, you would appreciate we're living at the sea, we're living in the mountains, so we need to also protect this. And how can we protect the sea for one better than to provide courses where people can learn how to do that protection work, because it's crucial for not just for us in the Overstrand, but for us in South Africa to have people with the knowledge to be able to monitor the situation and do something. That's the one area. The other area is obviously future teacher training and development of teachers. You would know, it's a known fact that there are many teachers that need some education. How can we do that in service here in the Overstrand? And that's a second major priority for us. And then as a third priority, looking at public administration, public leadership programs, people that are in employment, that need to get some education, to move them up in the career ladder and provide that opportunities for them. So at the present time, that's what we're looking at, and to see how we can bring all of this together as a package and provide that for people as soon as possible here in the Overstrand.
We are now trying to make university education possible for far more people, both young and old, across the spectrum of the community, so that they don't have to leave home to get a degree, a certificate, or some other course that will add value to their life and also to their work opportunities. That's what it's all about. I said, an adventure, a remarkable team of people, most of them volunteers, have become part of the process, so that it's becoming more and more a program, a project by the community, for the community.
This institution, Hamman's Varsity, is something I wish I had had 50 years ago. It is an oasis for someone who is struggling to root themselves out of poverty. People who have any idea, who have any wish or hope or prayer of overcoming poverty, this is it. It's going to help people who want to change their lives. It's going to help people who are tired of being poor, people who want to be unpoor. This is the route.
Well, it's so wonderful to see the life-changing power of education in young people. This is your opportunity to become a part of an incredible journey called Hamman's Varsity. Whether you're a mentor, whether you're a student, whether you've got finance to put in, please become involved and see young people's lives change from hopelessness to hope.